So today I'm going to take you step by step on opening up a Neighbor account. I'm going to show you all the questions it's going to ask you while you go through this process. Now, we are actually here on the main page of the Neighbor app. And if you want to go ahead and get started with the app as well, I'm going to put a link in the show notes down below. Helps us out, but it does get you more content just like this, so you can keep learning and growing when it comes to earning extra money for your business. So you can see right over here, the three options you have are either find storage if you're looking for a place. You can also become your host, which is what we're going to do today, or log into your existing account, but we're going to click on become a host. And right over here, it says rent your space safely. You can see right over here, it's going to give you all the breakdowns. You can keep sliding in here if you want to learn more about the whole process, but we're going to click on list your space. And the first thing it's going to ask you is if you want to go ahead and sign in with like Apple, Google, Facebook, or just with your regular email. Now, for this example, we're going to go ahead and use email, but if you go ahead and use any of the top three, this will kind of jump you just about 2 steps ahead. So just keep that in mind, but it's going to be some additional questions even with clicking those top 3 options. So we're going to sign up with our email, and you can see here, it's going to actually ask you for your first and last name, email address, password, and then your phone number. And then you want to accept the terms of service. If you do agree, just check off that box, and then we're going to go ahead and create the account. So what I'm going to do is fill this out, and then we're going to jump to that next page. All right, so we plugged in all of our information and created our account, and now it's going to say to list your space. You can see here, keeping some things in mind, we're going to go ahead and click on let's go, and it's going to ask you, where do you have your free space? Is it indoors or outdoors? For this example, we're just going to go ahead and say that it is going to be indoors, and then it's going to say garage here for us as this example. But again, you have so many different options to be able to choose from, but again, just clicking on garage. And then at the bottom here, it's going to say, can your space store vehicles? Yes or no. And then it's going to ask you additional questions if it's climate controlled. All these different features give you bigger advantages if it's available for you to give to the customer, because then that way you're going to be available in different filters. So this option right here, you can actually select multiple options as well. So depending on what you have, you can go ahead and do that. And it says, where is your space located? You can go ahead and put in your address. So once you go ahead and put in your address, it's going to kind of populate everything here, and it's going to say, I have permission to rent out this space. We're going to go ahead and check box that and click on next. And it says, what kind of space is this? We're going to do residential for this example, but there is also commercial. And then right over here, it is going to have the location on the map. You can move around, and that way the pin is right where it needs to be. Here it's going to say, describe your space. So you can put in a whole bunch of things. It gives you tips as well too. We're just going to go ahead and kind of just plug in some temporary things, but then you can go ahead and change that as you need to. And the next up right over here, it's going to say how big is your space. So you're going to want to go by length, width, and then height as well if you wanted to be able to just give additional information for people. You can see over here, it says common garage sizes. Ideally, if you can go ahead and measure, I would get measuring tapes just so that way you can get as much of an accurate space for the person that wants to go ahead and book this. So right over here, it says help renters understand when you're available. It says should approved renters contact you before each visit? It says yes or no, whichever option works best for you. It says how often will renters be able to access their items? You can do whichever option works best for you. Obviously, if it's something where you're home all the time, you have more options for people. Less often, that's also totally fine, as some people don't need to see their things all the time. And then right over here at the bottom, it's going to say what time of day will renters be available to look at their items. So you could do daytime hours or even evening hours if you wanted to as well. Click on next. And then here it's going to ask you if you want to do smart pricing. It gives you the opportunity for your price to kind of fluctuate based off of the needs of the area, or you can just go ahead and do a fixed price. You can see right over here, just clicking on smart pricing, it already gave us a really good idea of how much we should be charging and then how much is a minimum that we would want to be accepting. If we just want to leave this as an example, but you can adjust this at a later time, we're going to click on next. So it says, would you like to offer a 50% discount for your first month? Keeping in mind that you won't have any reviews yet, so giving a discount for your first stay, it might be really beneficial to get eyes on you and give you a better opportunity to get your first customer, and then hopefully get some nice reviews to continue to provide, and also then not have to worry about any discounts. So you can see here, it says take photos of your space. It says add 4+ photos, get rented twice as often. So the more photos you're putting in there that you can add, the better chances are for you to get booked. And you can see right over here, it gives you some really good examples of what you should be doing prior to taking photos. So highly recommend it. Photos are honestly one of the best ways to get your listing actually booked, so that way you can start making some of that extra money. So you can click on add photos, it'll go through your gallery. So right over here, it's going to ask us to go ahead and upload a profile photo. So that way it's a little bit easier for guests. You can skip it if you want to, or go ahead and upload a photo. And right over here, you can go ahead and tell a little bit about yourself for the renters. It gives you a little tip area over here to give you some ideas of what you can talk about. You can also skip this for now if you want to. And then right over here, it says keeping the neighborhood safe by verifying your identity. So it verified our email, our phone number, and then it's also going to need us to verify our ID. So we're going to click on next. So it says right over here, verify your identity. It says, let's make sure you're you. And then right over here, it's going to ask us to take a photo of either our passport or our ID or our driver's license. So we're going to click on get started. So here, it's going to just confirm your phone number. So we're going to click on continue. It's going to send you a code so that we can enter that and it completes your verification of the cell phone. And then right over here is just going to reconfirm your first and last name in case you misspelt it. And then also the phone number. We're going to hit continue if everything looks good. And right over here, it's going to ask which country your government ID is from. Ours is in the US. We're going to hit select country. And then it's going to ask us which version of identification do we want to go ahead and upload. We're going to click on driver's license, but you can see all the different options you're going to have available for you here. And here it's going to ask for camera access. So we're going to click on yes, enable camera. And then yes, right over here. So from here, you can see it says front of driver's license, take a clear photo of the ID. So I'm going to go ahead and obviously just take it outside of recording. And then it's going to ask me for the back, I believe. And then we're going to go for the next step after that. So you can see right over here, it says processing ID. It says it may take a few seconds. I'm actually doing this in real time, having just taken the photos. All right, so from right over here, it now asks me to take a selfie just to make sure it's us. Now, this might seem a little tedious when you're going through the process for the first time, but keeping in mind that this really gives guests that are trying to book your place a lot more safety when it comes to knowing that this company actually went through and verified all of your information. So once the verification process is complete, you're going to go ahead and get landed onto the main page of the Neighbor app that looks just like this. You can see you can finish listing your space. You can check out any reservation requests, unread messages, and any upcoming payouts, which is great, of course, to be able to start earning your money. Like I mentioned earlier, I'll have a link for you in the show notes down below so you can go start this process of signing up for Neighbor. Sometimes they have a nice little bonus like you can see on the page here. Other times you're just going to go ahead and go through the sign up process, but you get your account up and running as soon as possible. And once you do that and you start earning some income from this app, I actually want you to make sure you have a small business bank account to have all your money going in and all your expenses going out. And in order to do that, I want you to check out my video right over here about Novo Bank, which is my favorite small business bank to utilize.